All right. How are you guys?
Good.
Good. Are you ready to talk about social and emotional skills?
Yes.
All right. So just a reminder that it's a safe environment to talk about what went well and what didn't go well, that we can bring our successes and our challenges, that all the strategies we try are linked to actual classroom practices, which are all evidence-based in Pyramid, that we can give and receive constructive reflection, and that we recognize that all this work we do is connected to what is the outcome for the children, how important this work is for them. So, as our quick kind of warm-up today, wondering if you want to share one thing you're proud of around teaching emotional literacy or a success you saw in your classroom. Doesn't have to be associated with what your goal was, just anything that you saw or noticed this month that you'd like to share.
I guess one thing that I've been kind of proud of is just bringing that emotional literacy more into the classroom. So I've kind of noticed myself saying more feeling words and, less of just the you're okay and trying to really try to use that emotional literacy or, labeling their feelings as, I see that they're having them.
So I was gonna kind of say the same thing. Yeah, like I've been really trying to eliminate that and work in other sayings and exactly, like just naming emotions and giving those
Make
names.
it more natural for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's basically you're taking your old classroom language and you're putting that away and you're developing new classroom language. And, it's hard. And sometimes we stutter and it's okay.
Yep.
It's all right. How do you think that went for the kids?
They just love when we talk to them in general, so the fact that we're talking to them more and longer when we are explaining those feelings, they might feel a little more heard, or that we're recognizing that they are having either a meltdown or they're excited about something, like whatever the feeling is, like we're noticing it more than we used to.
Yeah. Right. And so you think that your conversation with them is longer?
Yeah.
Okay, that's really interesting. That's awesome. Fantastic. Okay, so our goal today is kind of our little opening that we're doing now. We're going to kind of do our little reflection, and then we're going to video share. We're also going to review kind of emotional literacy goals and those things. We're going to update our Plan, Do, Reflect form, and then we'll close. So emotional literacy, we remembered that is the ability to identify, understand, and respond. Those are kind of the three goals of different ways we would teach emotional literacy. And our objective was to review emotional literacy, reflect on the practices that we tried. We're going to watch your videos. We're going to reflect and feedback. Then we're going to revise our Plan, Do, Reflect form. And then we're going to kind of talk about how we could bring this into all day, every day, which is the ultimate goal.
Yes.
All right. So, how did you teach children about feelings? So you kind of both told me a little bit. You have something else you want to share?
Well, we brought in the emotional cards, or like the pictures, and so we've been using those to describe feelings that they could be having, or even if they're just looking at them, describing what that feeling is. And then us like modeling their expressions. Yeah. Mainly the happy ones, not the sad ones.
Did you have the opportunity to talk about emotions in different situations or different routines in your classroom?
Mainly for me, I've noticed just mainly when they're having an emotion, or like if I'm sitting on the floor playing with them, I'll be like, oh, you look happy, or you seem sad or tired. So, kind of just in the interactions I have with them.
Yeah.
But I'm not really as like a whole group teaching.
Yeah, so I just hear that kind of what you mentioned when we trained was that individualization in the infant rooms of being able to respond to each child individually. that's great. Fantastic. Did you read any books, or you talked about your pictures and labeling pictures? Were you able to read any stories, or did you notice when you were doing any reading emotions with the kids?
Honestly, really not too much. I haven't, at least.
Okay.
No,
Read too many stories.
but I'll be honest, since we have been doing a lot more stories, they, for whatever reason today, all decided to go at the same exact time over to the book corner, and they were all 5 looking at books.
Awesome. They were just like, hello, we're here.
Yeah,
Where are
we want to
you?
read a book.
We want to read a book. How fun. Because they go there because they know
Yeah.
now that you're going to come
And
and
read.
and read to them. So you've established that routine now, and they're starting to understand the routine. How awesome is that? Fantastic. All right, so we introduced the concept, model it, and then lots of opportunities to practice. I know these are kind of preschool things, but did you try any songs? I know you said you did modeling, and you did kind of your own feelings check-in for infants. Did you use any other materials or strategies to help the children practice?
I don't know about strategies. It's just more been like when it happens.
Right,
we
that's what I was
try
gonna
to-
say. It was kind of just.
Yeah, like a lot of times I know it, like at the table when they're all standing there, and like some of the little ones, the bigger ones will like push them off, you know, so kind of like, oh, you know, you made your friend sad when you know, tried to step in front of his way and he fell on the floor, like, yeah, so I don't know as far as like,
Yeah.
certain things that we plan to do or bring into the classroom,
Okay.
so maybe we could do more of those, I
Okay.
guess.
Well, let's think about that. Like, what would that look like? What are some of those strategies that you think you might be able to use and bring into your classroom?
Maybe songs. I don't know.
To find some
No,
songs.
yeah, I mean, like, I know if you're happy and you know
Well,
it.
there you go.
That's about
They're
it.
infants and young toddlers.
That's all I
If
know.
you're happy and you know it. If you're sad and you know it.
Okay.
If you're frustrated and you know it. Okay. Yeah, sure. Sure. Okay. So what were some of the emotion words that you used?
Happy, you know, we have upset or angry on our wall.
Yeah, and then there's like distressed on it.
Distressed, yeah.
That's a big one with infants.
Fearful or some kind of like scared.
Okay. Awesome. So both negative emotions and positive emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. All right. Positive descriptive feedback. I know we've been working on that. Tell me a little bit about how that went. How are you feeling about that?
I mean, I kind of just noticed, I feel like I just do it, anyway on the regular, but, I kind of caught myself a few times, like, realizing I was doing it without, like, knowing I was doing it, but just, you know, like, when they are expressing an emotion or, you know, trying to blabber something to you, just, like, mocking and mimicking that back to them, the emotion and whatever they tried to say to
Right,
you.
which is their positive descriptive feedback. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Anything else you want to talk about positive descriptive feedback? Any questions about positive descriptive feedback? No? Going well?
Yeah.
Good,
Trying,
good.
working hard.
I know. It's just, you just have to develop it.
Mhm.
Keep practicing. Then it just comes natural. All right, opportunities for children to reflect. So we kind of talked a little bit about how some opportunities maybe that we can reflect on with modeling reflection with them. And Monica talked a little bit in your individual coaching about kind of reflecting in the moment when something's happening, about what's happening from the point of view of the other person.
Yeah.
It was a really hard concept for toddlers, but we talked in the training too about where we want them to be, and we watched that video about where we want preschoolers to be able to be. I feel this, I feel that, and that starts with us modeling that and recognizing and pointing that out to them. more you'd like to talk about reflection or have any more ideas about reflection? Alrighty. And connecting with families. So what were some ways maybe you connected with families this month about emotional literacy?
I mean, mainly just drop off and pick up, or, I mean, they kind of let us know, like, when they come in, how their child's feeling, or if they've had a rough night, so that.
So is that one of the questions you ask the parents every day when they drop off
Yeah.
Yeah.
as part of your routine?
Yes.
All right, so you already have a routine
Yeah.
established with parents to talk
Yeah.
about emotional literacy with kids. Awesome. Okay. All right, so in your handouts, there's a few things. You have the plan due review, which we'll do at the end of our time together. Also, before you leave today, I gave you a feedback form if you'll. All right, so we have your group for our video reflection form. So we're gonna look at our videos and we'll have the teacher who's sharing the video, which this month's Monica, will kind of tell us about her videos before we start, and then we'll go through on the reflection questions afterwards. So if you have your reflection forms, and let's watch Monica's first video. Monica, tell me a little bit about what the goal is.
So this one was just kind of introducing emotional literacy and, like, labeling their feelings.
Okay.
Okay, did we all come over here to look at ourselves in the mirror? Yeah, and see our new things up here? What are these? Are these our feelings? Yeah, you guys all interested in them? I feel like we want to just pull them off. Yeah, we put them on there. Gabriel, are you feeling happy this morning? Are you feeling happy? Yeah. What about you, Maya? You just want to grab them all. You seem pretty happy to me, too. They just want to grab them. What about you, Hayden? I know. Just a minute ago, you were in distress. Yeah. And then we brought you over here. Are you feeling okay right now? Oh, Maya's feeling angry, huh? Are you just trying to grab up Maya's? I'm gonna give you pressure. Oh, did you grab the happy one? Look at that happy baby. She looks like you smiling. It's like I'm trying to get up there. Let's move these up here. I see Hayden went from crying and sad, and now he's happy like this baby up here. Are you happy like her now, Hayden? Oh, thank you, Maya. Here, we'll put these up a little bit so we get them laminated. Yeah, and then we'll let you guys grab them and play with them. Who is this, Maya? Who's this boy? Oh, yeah.
Okay. So Monica, what do you think? Did you think it was successful?
I think it was, as far as labeling what each child was feeling during that time. But I also think it was something new, so they were just eager to get over there and figure out what it was.
Okay.
But I mean, as far as what my goal was of just labeling their emotions, I mean, mainly with Hayden was my ideal child, and so I mean, I feel like I did a good job doing that.
Okay. So was this activity planned for one child, Hayden, or was this activity planned as a small group?
Originally, individual should just have been one,
Okay.
but they made it a small group, so.
Okay. Yeah, they did. They were very interested in everything that you were doing. Do you think the children enjoyed it?
I mean, they were all I mean, none of them are crying, so I would say so.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Tell me more about what you think the experience was for the children.
I think it was, different, being able to, not only just, label it throughout the day or what they're feeling, but show them what that looks like on them using the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
So, I feel like they got a different sense of, what it is that we tell them all the time, that to where they can see it for themselves in the mirror.
Okay.
So kind of noticing that previously, Hayden was in distress because he, had tears in his eyes and didn't do more descriptive of it, but that's the whole point of why I wanted to take him to the mirror to kind
Right.
of show him this was you sad, and now, your friends have helped and you seem happy just like that baby.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard lots of emotional literacy words, lots of naming and talking about it. And I also noticed that your friends that joined you for a small group, they were very interested in the pictures. And when they were grabbing them, I noticed they weren't grabbing at the bottom where the words were, which was closer to them. They were grabbing for the faces.
Mhm.
So that was interesting. Taylor, what do you think went well?
I think that the fact that they were all engaged in the activity, I feel like that was basically, whether it was individual or small group, that was basically what we were trying to get at with the activity, was just getting them to recognize and notice each other's feelings and their own feelings. So I think that it went well. I think that having them all be engaged was what we were aiming for. So
They were definitely engaged. They were,
Yeah.
I noticed how comfortable they were. Wherever you were, they wanted to be with you and engaging with you. And so, Monica, as you were going to do this again, what might you do differently?
I definitely would, do it more often and with maybe try to get individual children. But even if it is a small group thing and they're still all wanting to be around there, kind of, still using more emotional literacy. I don't know, I feel like maybe putting the pictures more on there so they can touch them and interact with them, where they're not going to get ruined, which was just, I think, our part. But yeah, kind of noticing it more, maybe even, I want to say getting them to notice their peers' emotions, but that's a little harder.
Yeah.
So just
Yeah.
kind of using it more often through the classroom and with individual children, with all different kinds of emotions, not just, oh, I see you're sad, let's go in the mirror, and, even with kids that are excited or happy or even tired, rubbing their eyes,
Okay.
and then that's what tired looks like.
All right. And Taylor, what are some suggestions you might have to expand this practice in your classroom?
I guess, I would say just keep up the emotional literacy talk, and like Monica said, just kind of just naming them whenever they're happening, whether it's that child or their friend, and just kind of just continue the practice with having them in front of the mirror and showing them all the faces and emotions.
Okay. Great. All right. Are you ready for the next video? You want to tell us a little bit about this video?
This one was for an individual goal of basically getting myself to get used to using emotional literacy more, and so this was during a care routine, which was one of the 4 different times throughout the day I wanted to work on using it more.
All right.
All right, Hayden, we're gonna change your diaper. Hi, how are you today? Bumpy? Yeah. You're just so sad. I see tears in your eyes. You also look kind of tired. Oh, I'm sorry. You got so sad. Mommy will be here soon. She'll make you happy. Yeah, Mommy always makes you happy, huh? Yeah. Okay. Let's wash your hands. There we go. The worst part's over. Now we just wash hands. Wet your hands. Jump on them. Scrub the front and the back and the between. Rinse, the hands on the surface. Dry your hands, always done. Keep the germs away. Yay! Hi, John. That wasn't so bad.
All right.
All right, Hayden, we're gonna.
So, how did you feel about that? Does it feel successful to you with your goal?
I think so, as far as just using more emotional literacy, because I feel like, before I never really would talk about their emotions or what they could be feeling, and so doing that, during that time and getting that, one-on-one time with each kid, it makes it easy to do that during their care routines because it is just them, so being focused on just them. So yeah, I think it went pretty well.
Okay. Great. If you were going to do it and make this a practice, would you do anything any differently?
I don't know. I had kind of talked about maybe adding a couple emotion pictures there as well for them to look at, because I know that they do like looking at, because we have our steps posted there, and a lot of times they like play with them or touch on them. So like maybe adding some more feeling pictures there to kind of remind myself too to talk about it more, or help them learn more about emotional literacy.
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes the labeling in the room is to help the adults remember as well as to benefit the children. So how do you think the experience went from the point of view of the child? How do you think it can be better for them?
I think it went good as far as like them, knowing like I'm only focused on them, whether they're having a positive or negative emotion, and that I'm still like there the whole time through. And I mean, the first time I watched this, I didn't notice, but like during the whole diaper change, Hayden was kind of like fussing louder, like more of like a cry. And then at the end, when we're almost done, he's just kind of like just breathing, like not crying as where he was before. So he even kind of improved his emotion just within that like minute diaper change.
Sure. So do you feel like he responded to
like
what you were doing?
Definitely more calm when we were done after the whole process was over than when we first started the diaper change.
Okay. Taylor, are some things that you noticed was successful?
I mean, I think that basically the entire thing was successful. I feel like we met the goal we were trying to meet in that, just by naming emotions and being present during those emotions.
All right. Is there any suggestions you have for Monica, or how you guys might like to improve or expand this practice with other kids?
I liked her idea of just having the things on the diaper changing table, because like she said, they do like to pick at the things already on there. So if we were able to expand that by putting those there and talking with them through it while we do diaper changes, I think that that could maybe benefit that a little bit more.
Okay. All right. And just one question: what made you think that Hayden was feeling better by the end of the diaper change?
He wasn't like doing that whining he was doing at the beginning when I first laid him down, and I mean he seemed more calm just with his body motions, I guess.
Right.
During when we were singing that song, maybe that kind of just distracted him, or even made him a little more happy than he was before. And yeah, I just felt like he wasn't as tense and as like whiny, I guess, after than he was when we were doing the actual diaper change.
All right. So, as we're reflecting back, do you think his needs are met?
In that moment, I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that I saw that, you responding to his emotions helped to, just, even as adults, you know, when someone says, "Oh, I'm so sorry you're sad," or whatever, gives you a hug, like it helps to meet your emotional need at the time. So yeah, I thought that was really interesting as well. All right, so we have our Plan, Do, Reflect form where we're going to set some goals now that you've kind of watched our videos and you guys have already come up with some suggestions just from that. We'll take a minute to fill that out and of how you might be able to use these strategies that you guys have practiced this month into your day. Okay, so we took a few minutes to write down some ideas for how to incorporate this into your daily routine. Monica, do you want to share one of your ideas?
Yes, so I did more free play, so kind of noticing and getting involved in their emotions, not only when they're having like negative ones, because I feel like it's easy for us to notice the negative ones more just because they're crying or whining or, you know, so we hear it and see it more, but then, you know, we kind of miss out on like the kids who are excited about playing with toys or, you know, they're laughing at their friends because they're playing together or so kind of noticing those emotions and, you know, getting involved and, you know, explaining like, oh, I see your friends making you laugh, like, you know, you seem very happy about that, or, you know, this is a new toy you brought out and you've just been playing with it, are you excited for this new toy? So kind of more focused on like the positive emotions that we probably miss more than the negative ones.
Yeah, that's awesome. That kind of ties to that positive descriptive feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have something else?
And then I had also put like talking, like when they are having a rough time, talking through that emotion. So like at drop off, like we know, you know, certain kids get sad, so like, you know, recognizing and understanding and labeling that feeling, and then like, you know, what we're gonna do or we did do to make them feel happier or calmer, you know, whatever they felt after we were trying to get them from, you know, a point of distress to like a calm, happy place.
Yeah, yeah, great. What about you, Taylor?
I just said during diapering, I feel like that's just kind of a big spot where we see emotions. Whether, you know, that's the children that are upset with the diaper change or the children that just seem that they're not interested in the diaper change. It kind of just seem like they're bored. So I think that, like, you know, implementing the emotional literacy and just talking about it and, you know, like putting the pictures up on the diaper changer would just kind of help get them through those. So I think that would be, yeah, a good time to do that.
All right. Awesome. Okay, so our next step is going to be to talk, we'll meet the third week of the month, just like we have been. So that second Tuesday will be our training, and we'll be training on self-regulation and anger management, which I have some interesting ideas and thoughts about infants, so I'll be interested in yours as well. And then we'll have our follow-up meeting on the third week of the month. And then I have a little feedback form for you, if you wouldn't mind taking a moment to fill that out for me, as I'm also learning and growing, as you guys know, working on my certification. But feel free to add comments to the bottom if there's anything that you think would help you to be more successful in our trainings or coaching.